The Mario movies jumped directly from Super Mario Bros. To Super Mario Galaxy. That's a 22-year jump from 1985 to 2007. And believe it or not, Nintendo and Illumination have already given us enough information for not only the name of the third movie, not only what'll happen in it, but also its release date. To be specific, going directly from Bros to Galaxy was a jump of 10 entire mainline games. Using this simple logic, we can pinpoint the next one to be the Super Mario Maker movie, 2. Yeah, not that good. Of course, Super Mario Maker is a really good and creative game. Trust me, I would know about creativity from my experience in Minecraft, but that isn't exactly right for a movie. The game right before that, though, is Odyssey, and the Super Mario Odyssey movie actually poses for a great title. Since Odyssey is widely agreed upon to be a pretty good game, adapting it into a movie would bring in a lot of publicity and money for Nintendo and Illumination. And no, it's not too recent, because characters like Bowser Jr. have already made references to games that were released after the first movie, such as Mario Wonder. And I'm pretty sure that the decision to make Bowser Jr. look like that was made before Wonder released, so that could mean that Nintendo was trying to lean on a newer game, like Odyssey. And as for Odyssey, they could pull a Sonic the Hedgehog and do a live and learn like song at the climax. In theory, it would either be Jump Up Superstar, which is the more famous one, or Break Free from the Moon Kingdom, or possibly they could surprise us by having one of those songs in the Galaxy film. This is kind of funny though, since Odyssey, which is currently 9 years old, is the newest mainline 3D Mario game, meaning they might starve for ideas for the fourth one, but that's way too far ahead. Plus, after the end of the trilogy, they might make a weird decision to stop the Mario Cinematic Universe. But due to them changing the designs of everything, and their try-hard strategies of marketing their films, I don't think that they will just stop the box office money from pouring in after the third film. Naming the next one after Odyssey would also break the trend of sequels. If you don't know what I'm talking about, remember how the first one was named after 1985's Super Mario Bros. And the second one was named after 2007's Super Mario Galaxy? Well, both of those games have sequels, but despite the near-end update level requests from the community, Nintendo hasn't released or even teased Super Mario Odyssey 2 yet. I mean, according to the consistent schedule, they should have released it in 2020. That aside, we know the most likely name for the third movie, which is the Super Mario Odyssey movie, but who will be in it? And when will it be released? Well, as for the characters, Cappy is obviously a pretty big candidate. I mean, he's kind of the Yoshi-level sidekick of Odyssey, so he would be pretty fitting. But Cappy has really only ever been in Super Mario Odyssey, not really any other games at all, not even spin-offs like Mario Kart World. This is unlike most other main characters already established, like Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, Donkey Kong, Bowser, Yoshi, and Bowser Jr., who are already well-established characters in the Mario Cinematic Universe, or MCU. That doesn't mean that Cappy's inclusion is impossible though. He could make appearances in future games, and then those appearances could be retold in the next movie. This might sound a little far-fetched, but believe it or not, this has already happened. I mentioned this a minute ago, but a few months after the first Mario movie released, Super Mario Bros. Wonder was released for the Nintendo Switch, and it featured a modified version of Bowser Jr. And in the very first Mario Galaxy movie trailer, we can see that Bowser Jr. modification in the actual movie. This is an insanely new game to be referenced, and it means that Nintendo is staying up to date with their games to movies universe. This could actually be seen in the Odyssey movie. Nintendo might have Cappy make an appearance in a newer game, then have that appearance be recreated in the Odyssey movie to introduce Cappy. Or Cappy could be in the post-credit scene of the Galaxy film. He's the only really major character to be introduced in the Odyssey game, and no, Broodals fans don't exist. But there is one doubt in my mind about the Odyssey movie. You see, we've already seen a lot of major references to Odyssey in the established movies, like the Bowser wedding, Tostarena from the Sand Kingdom, and other general references such as the Mushroom Kingdom and certain Fossil Falls remixes, and this dinosaur that was already seen in a Galaxy movie trailer, of course from the Cascade Kingdom. Thing is, the Super Mario Galaxy movie is literally about galaxies, so they'll probably explore other areas, like the moon. And guess what 3 entire kingdoms in Mario Odyssey are based on? That's right, the moon. First there's just the Moon Kingdom, then the dark side of the moon, then the darker side of the moon. If they explore too much of Odyssey in the Galaxy movie, it might render the Odyssey movie to be kinda unneeded. Who knows though, I could be wrong. So that's really it for the characters. So the next question is, when will the film even come out? Well, despite the consistent release dates over the last 2 films, this this might actually be more complicated than we thought. If you look at the first film and find out that it was supposed to be released on April 7, 2023, then got moved to April 5, 2023, then look at the second film and find out that it was supposed to be released on April 3, 2026, then got moved to April 1, 2026, you might think that the third film would be released on March 30, 2029, then moved to March 28, 2029, which would also line up with the weekdays, because all 3 times would be moving from a Friday to a Wednesday. But we're forgetting something. You see, Nintendo isn't just focused on Mario, they also have other franchises, like Kirby, Splatoon, and even Zelda. And speaking of Zelda, there's actually going to be a live-action The Legend of Zelda movie coming soon, meaning that they're adapting even more franchises into full-length theatrical movies. So, why am I saying this? Is Nintendo spending so much time on other films that they'll have to delay Mario? No, of course not. They've been working on both the Galaxy film and the Zelda film for a while now, and the Galaxy film hasn't been delayed. In fact, the opposite has happened, so it's safe to say that that's not the case. Also, if I refer to a Nintendo in the context of moving pictures, I'm referring to a Nintendo, Illumination, and Universal. Anyway, with all these other franchises getting film adaptations of their own, Nintendo might want to branch out within the mega successful Mario franchise. I'm talking about spin-off movies, and not spin-off movies like Mario Kart, because we've already seen that one. I'm talking about a movie for Donkey Kong, which isn't very unrealistic, as we haven't seen DK in the Galaxy movie yet, neither as a character nor even as a voice role by Seth Rogen. Yeah. So the Donkey Kong movie is definitely in the works, but could the same thing be said for other characters? What about a Super Princess Peach movie, Captain Toad's short film, the Luigi's Mansion movie, the Yoshi's Island movie? All these characters getting movies of their own could just print money for Nintendo, which is exactly what they want. Now here's the obstacle. Some of these films might replace the Mario Odyssey movie. Sometime in 2029 or a bit earlier, Nintendo might release something like the Donkey Kong Country movie, or if they're feeling really out there, the Donkey Kong Bonanza movie, which would excite fans. I think that the most likely lineup of Mario films, in order, are the Super Mario Galaxy movie, the Donkey Kong Country movie, and the Super Mario Odyssey movie. Perhaps it could work a little bit like Knuckles, where the DK movie could chronologically take place after the Galaxy film and before the Odyssey film. Or they could make it exactly like Knuckles, where the DK movie could actually be the DK Country series to be streamed on something like Peacock. But if series like Donkey Kong are streamed, that would make it way more likely for other spin-offs, like Captain Toad and Super Princess Peach, to also be streaming originals. Luigi's Mansion, on the other hand, might just be enough to be a theatrical Halloween movie. Unlike DK Country, Luigi's Mansion is an especially interesting case, because in theory, it's a super unique movie. Just think about it, an animated movie about the Mario franchise that's a horror movie around Halloween. Most historical horror movies are live action, and especially with an eerie soundtrack, this could actually be a pretty good adaptation, especially if the last scene in the Galaxy movie that Luigi is in some sort of mansion, kind of like the one he was in the first half of the first film. If you have any other ideas of what'll happen in the Mario cinematic universe, then comment them down in the comment section. Also, this is my first really Mario related video, so let me know if this video is interesting enough that I should make sequels. Also, I'm still sick, that's why I sound weird. Anyway, thanks for watching the CYT Mario video, Genesis 1-2, and until next time, Undefeatable Army.